Welcome, my friends. The night of the nights has come. The night of the nights. Open your heart and your mind. Move to the rhythm and dance into your own beautiful reality. Beautiful reality. Feel free and expect the unexpected.
Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now before I get into today's topic, there are two important points I'd like to make. First of all, I want to big up my Trini viewers and subscribers. It wasn't until last week that I realized that I had any fans in Trinidad. I knew I had some in Cayman and the Bahamas and Bermuda, but I never knew about Trinidad whatsoever. But when I checked, I realized that I actually have over 70 fans in Trinidad. Not only that, people from Trinidad are actually the most vocal on my channel. They are very, very outspoken. Some of them are a bit exuberant. I don't want to say rude, although that would be a better word. They're a bit exuberant in how they deliver their comments. Nevertheless, some of you still subscribed despite whatever feelings you may have about certain things I had said. And nevertheless, I just realized you have the highest subscription level of all Caribbean countries. Big up on yourself, Trini. Love you, lots, appreciate you, enough respect. I would love to be that bridge between my country and yours, because just as I love you, I want the rest of my fellow countrymen to love, respect, and appreciate you just the same. Please share the channel with anybody else in Trinidad that you know and let them know how much love I send to you from Jamaica. Now, the next thing, and this may sound a bit hilarious, but I put out the Sean Kingston video on Sunday, the 28th of June. And in the comment section yesterday evening, I saw somebody, it was a female, who said, ask me what is GPP, because the title of the video was Sean Kingston's mother used her GPP to con a jeweler out of $250,000 US. She kind of knew what I was referring to as GPP, but she didn't understand what the G and the P and the P stood for. So, since this is a channel where I try to enlighten people, and just in case there's anybody else out there who don't know what GPP is, I'm going to tell you right now. It means good pum pum. Yes, GPP means good pum pum. And if you go online and type in GPP in YouTube, there's a song, an American sing a song about GPP. And so as not to be confusing, I'm going to explain what pum pum is. Pum pum, of course, in Jamaica, and especially for you Trinidadians who might not know, pum pum is the lady's kitten, the lady's good. And of course, that is one of about 15 to 20 different names that we Jamaicans have for that little quarter acre. Yes, we have many names for that little quarter acre. As a matter of fact, I just said quarter acre. Well, I'll tell you what quarter acre, why they call it quarter acre. Because they have a logical reason for calling it that. As a matter of fact, one day I think I'm going to be making a video where I list all the names that we call that little quarter acre and why each of the names it's called by that. And believe me guys, if I were to put out such a video, it is not meant to be frivolous or smutty or vulgar. It is called cultural exchange, explaining human anatomy and the names we have for aspects of the human anatomy. So it is actually highly intellectual discussion it will be. And it will be a pleasure bringing that particular video to you because it's one of my favorite topics. In fact, it was such a very important aspect of my interest back in the day that I actually wanted to be a gynecologist. But when I realized that I would have to go to med school and I would have to learn about eyes, ears, nose, intestines, liver, spleen, and every part and aspect of the human anatomy. And then after about 7 or 8 years of studying other things, then I could get to the part I really wanted to study. So I decided, hell no, we can't bother with that. If it was a course where I could just go right in and just study this one part of me want to study, I would have been a gynecologist today. Anyway, as I say, big up on yourself, Trini, big up on yourself, Jamaicans, big up on yourself all over the world. Now we get on to today's topic. Little birdie that I have on the inside pinch me and tell me a thing. Remember in the previous video pertaining to the dirtbags that were killed in Negril in that beryllium incident? An update, it was 4 that was dead and not 5. But of course, I hope that the doctor gave him 2 bad injection fast if him not get it yet, so my headline can remain corrected. Anyway, here is what seemed to have happened, right? The person who was on the inside, who is responsible for such a nice operation. Well, it's a nice operation, but the operation was not perfect because 4 men got away. Well, what seemed to have happened is that the government actually recruited a gang member. So they infiltrated the gang by having someone on the inside. And that's where the government went about, the Jamaica Constabulary Force went about setting up the operation. How did they get this man on the inside? Well, this man was a known gunman. He had several brushes with the law and to the best of my knowledge might even have been on the most wanted list at some point in his life. And it seemed that this individual, well, I have a name, but of course I can't call the name. But it seems that he was on the inside. I don't know whether in lockup or in prison or whatever, or he was on remand or sentenced. But somehow the government recruited him. And he was sent back out there and to infiltrate gangs because he already had a reputation, you know. So when you have a certain level of reputation, people trust you. The gang people within the underworld trust you. So he was promised a new life, a new identity, new everything. Because to what I hear, why the Jamaica Constabulary Force felt they could have recruited him was because while he was on the inside or locked away, his own members within the gang, within the criminal underworld, took things from him. I don't know whether it was money or car or property or whatever, but they shafted him while he was on the inside. The Jamaica Constabulary Force heard about it, knew what was going on, and they went in and he wanted revenge. And that was one of the reasons. So when he came back out, what he did, he just do like nothing happened and just go and kick back and set up who him to set up. One of the reasons why he was chosen also is because most of the people, very few people know his background, know his family, and know, so he didn't feel that they could hurt his family if anything went wrong. And that was one of the reasons why the government think they could have recruited him. And he would have been easier to convince to come over onto the blue side. So he was offered a new life outside of Jamaica. And because he was already fed up with the criminal lifestyle, he decided to make that change.
Happy. Thank you, Jesus!
Basically, for him, it was revenge. He wanted to get back at the people who shafted him while he was on the inside. At this point, I'll not say whether he was in the operation itself or he was elsewhere. But what I can say, it was only supposed to have been him who, from that group, who was left alive. Because he was scared that they could have gotten to him at some point if any are left alive. But as we know, 4 of them in a third car escaped. So when news broke that he had escaped, that some had escaped, when news broke that some had escaped, which of course was not part of the plan, he was quite sure that people gonna put 2 and 2 together. So by the following evening, he was in a safe house. And late Sunday night, I hear late Sunday night into early Monday morning here, the 29th. There are 2 stories I'm getting right here, but I don't know which one is true. But I hear that he was under heavy guard, taken to Tinsenpen Aerodrome and flown out of the country on a small plane to a small island where he would transfer to a commercial airline onto another destination. Somebody else is saying no, it wasn't Tinsenpen Aerodrome, it was Up Park Camp, and he left on a JDF airline to the small island and the same interconnection to on a commercial airline. But whatever the case, the person who did this is no longer in Jamaica, based on what I'm hearing. Also, it wasn't CTAC alone who was in on this operation. There was other branches of the specialized branches of the Jamaica Constabulary Force that was assisting. So it was a well-coordinated, intelligence-driven operation, something that we have never seen in Jamaica since the taking down of the Klansman gang. Now, things like these are things that should have been done a long time ago. We have too much bright people in the Jamaica Constabulary Force now to not be handling things this way. And a brute force do it again, intelligence. I mean it from the 2 definitions of having brain power and also from having workable data and information. And this leads me to one very important point. A few years ago, when Dwight Nelson was Jamaica's Minister of National Security, I told him exactly this. I handed him a 44-page document, which of course including a plan to fight, an intelligence-driven plan to fight crime in Jamaica. And this was one of the things that I said in the plan, that you needed to recruit gunmen to fight gunmen. You should always have gunmen on the inside of the gang who you are liaising with. There should be no gang in Kingston, in the world, in Jamaica, that you doesn't have somebody on the inside. And for some reason, Dwight Nelson did nothing about those things, that thing that I'd given him, which was an extremely comprehensive and detailed intelligence-driven crime-fighting plan. It was so detailed that I even had a chart, as you can see from this organizational chart, where if you can see this about liaison officer, that falls under the intelligence branch. And I said how these liaison officers would actually go into prisons and lockups and anywhere the nefarious people are, anywhere on the beach, are in the clouds and recruit people and pay them a good salary and get information. Dwight Nelson did nothing about it. And I even put it to another waster named Bobby Montague. And Bobby Montague take the document from me and look like him fling it in the bin too. Dwight Nelson did get his on a thumb drive. And I gave a hard copy to Bobby Montague. But probably Bobby Montague, him is one of the dullest bulb in the JLP anyway. Not that the JLP do have a lot of bright bulbs, you know, because there's some bright boy in there too. But I'm saying, in terms of brain power, Bobby Montague was the least. I guess he didn't even know how to appreciate such a document, and him just fling it in a bin. Dwight Nelson more or less knew what it was, because he's a bright boy. I think Dwight Nelson was even a Rhodes Scholar, one of the brightest man in Jamaica's history. But I guess he may just workless or careless and they just want to sit down there and not do nothing. But whatever the case, that's how it went. I'm saying, good for you, Jamaica Constabulary Force. Use this method across the board. You have done very well. And protect your whistling bird. Switch them out of Jamaica as you get complete your operation. People will be beating down your door to come on board. And what I hear that man's police record will be wiped clean or kept in a certain confidential level that nobody can get to it. Unless him go foreign and mess up, then you know what gonna happen to him. So guys, thank you for visiting my channel. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.